Oh! Hey, Trajan, I'll see you on the podcast this week, buddy. Peace! Oh my God, we did it!
My dick is big, my dick is wide, my dick is huge.
That's right. Super Bowl, here we come.
So you're saying there's a chance?
We're ready to tear this baby up.
Why?
Good afternoon, football fans, and welcome to this divisional round recap of the Trajan Temple Sportcast. I am your host, professional wrestler, and for the 6th straight year in a row, going to the AFC Championship round, Kansas City Chiefs fanatic Christian Temple, joined alongside, as always, by, he's got all the yellow behind him, but now he's going to be wearing purple all this week. Terrible towel twirling Trajan. How are we doing this week, my friend?
You hurt me.
I've hurt you, Kirk, and I wish to continue hurting you.
Bummed. My team's not in the playoffs anymore. Your team won.
And beat the team that beats your team. Life's not fair.
My only thing I got to look forward to is when Chiefs Kingdom finally comes crashing down to reality.
That's the only thing you can hope and pray for, right?
Only thing.
That's all right. When the Chiefs win and go to the Super Bowl, I'll make sure to invite you over for the Super Bowl party again this year. So the invitation will be open to you. I'm not going to step too far about that. I'm not going to talk too much yet, too. The game's still got to be played and all that, too. And we've got plenty to talk about that coming up, too. But let us go ahead and move on to the most exciting matchup from Divisional Round Weekend. It's so exciting, Trajan's yawning right now, too. But let's hear it, Kingdom. How about those Chiefs? Huge win on the road, Divisional Round, for the 3rd time in 4 years. The Kansas City Chiefs take out the Buffalo Bills, this time with a final score of 27-24. And boy, this game definitely lived up to the hype once again. We knew it was going to be a good game. You had all the storylines. You got Josh Allen at home for the first time in the playoffs against Mahomes. Mahomes' first road playoff game. You've got the Bills, who were able to take the 2nd seed. You got the Chiefs, who they kind of limped into the playoffs, all things considered, but had a good win against the Dolphins the previous week. The Bills, good win against the Steelers the week before. It was going to all come to a head, and who'd have thought that it would be the return of the Scott Norwood? That was a heck of an ending, but we'll get to that momentarily. We'll go step by step here too. Chiefs win the toss. They elected to defer. Buffalo, for one thing Buffalo did right, they won on first down frequently the entire game. Every time it was a first down, it usually would end up in a 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3, just a 2nd and short in general. They get down the field, they kick a field goal. So the defense for the Chiefs, bends but doesn't break. Good start. Chiefs do their thing. They drive down the field, albeit a lot quicker than the Bills did, but they can't get into the end zone. They're forced to settle for a field goal. It's 3-3. Bills get the ball back, and they drive down the field once again, taking anything that the Chiefs defense give to them, which eventually leads to a Josh Allen 5-yard run, going 10-3. It's like, all right, now you've got to get down the field. You got to get a touchdown, right? Well, they almost did. Big stop around the red zone area by the Buffalo Bills. Harrison Butker forced to a field goal, 6-10. Now is a chance for Buffalo to go down the field and potentially take a two possession lead, but no. The defense stops them and they force a punt. So the defense finally waking up, getting a chance to get the ball back to Mahomes, and he drives down the field. And I have to say, even though this hasn't been a great year for him, how do you forget to cover Travis Kelce? That was the most wide open I have seen him all year. All year. I could not believe
frustrating.
that. Just
so frustrating.
Maybe that was the plan. Maybe it was the plan. Just have a mediocre year, which for Kelce is still nearly 1,000 yards. He was 16 yards off 1,000 yards. That's a mediocre year for Kelce. And he is the most wide open, besides the Packers receiver from last week against the Cowboys. Just no one around him. Easy touchdown. Chiefs take the lead 13-10. All right, here we go. Now we've got a game. But once again, Buffalo taking what the Chiefs can give them, pounding the ball. James Cook, heck of a day. Josh Allen finding space where he can to go on his feet. Gets down the field, and they score with 26 seconds left to go in the half. They take the lead 17-13. And here I am thinking, I'm like, man, this is going to be like a 35-31 kind of game or something like that. It's like, we can't stop them. They can't stop us. The Bills were definitely more methodical, I think, with their drives. They took more time off the clock, which that's the best defense against Pat Mahomes, is keeping him on the sideline. Mahomes and company, they were moving down the field at breakneck speeds, it seemed like. It was a couple times I was worried. I'm like, is our defense getting enough rest here? They seem to be going down a little too quickly there.
Man.
Yep. We go to the second half. Chiefs get the ball first, and they go down the field. Travis Kelce with a 3-yard touchdown pass. Great blocking by Blake Bell and Noah Gray. Get them in. They take the lead. A long drive from the Buffalo Bills, leading up with the Khalil Shakir 13-yard touchdown pass, which I can't knock it. That was an absolute bullet from Josh Allen. Perfectly placed in Shakir's arms and a touchdown. I'm just like, there's no way he caught that in bounds. It's like, he did.
Yep.
Couldn't even be mad about it. It was just such a good throw to it. I was like, oh boy. Oh, this is not going to be good. And then we get to the fourth quarter, and Chiefs go down and score immediately, so good on them. They answered quickly. Isaiah Pacheco with the 4-yard run pounds the ball in. And then it got crazy. That's putting it lightly. It got absolutely bonkers insane in the fourth quarter. So you start off with the Bills get the ball back, and the Chiefs stop them. A huge knockdown on 3rd and 5 by George Karlaftis knocks the ball down, and the Bills have to punt, or do they? So there's a little bit of speculation on this too. One of the theories is. They just wanted to get Damar Hamlin that big play. Obviously, it's no secret the near tragic event that happened to him last year in the regular season. And then the other thought was the Chiefs actually did not have 11 men on the field. They only had 10 on the punt coverage. So maybe they called an audible and Damar Hamlin switched sides and was expecting the direct snap and tried to get it there. Whatever the case may be, the Chiefs stop him dead in his tracks. I shouldn't have said that was genuinely not on purpose. That was genuinely not on purpose. They stop him short of the line of gain, and they have great field position. And first down, they give the ball to Pacheco, and he runs it all the way down to the 4-yard line. Now, here's where I've got to take exception to something here. Everyone was saying, you're first and goal. Why aren't you feeding Pacheco on first and goal? And the reason for that is on the previous run, he rolled his ankle. You could see it on the replay. When he gets to the sideline, his ankle turns sideways. He was getting a break on that play. So you can't be mad at Coach Reed trying something different because, obviously I'm sure he would have had Pacheco right up the middle on first and goal. But I'm sure, and I'm pretty sure Pacheco put his arm up and said, I need a play to get out. I will say this, all due respect to Mecole Hardman, yes, you do have to protect the ball. Travis Kelce, earlier today on his New Heights podcast, took a lot of responsibility for that fumble that led to a touchback. Because, and I went back and watched this, and now I understand why, that was his guy he was supposed to block, and Kelsey gave up on the block before Mecole crossed the goal line. The guy got off the block, put the hand through, jarred it loose, and it fumbled into the end zone into a touchback. And I'll let you have your opinion on this in 1 second. I just want to bring up one more thing, because now it's going to be talked in the offseason. Should they get rid of the touchback rule? And I have maintained this all through the years about this. The defenses in the NFL have very little wiggle room or very few advantages left. I mean, you and I have talked about this. My problem with the tush push is because the offense can leverage. If defenses leverages, that's a 15-yard penalty. So if it was an even playing field, sure, yeah, tush push would be fine. But it's why can one side do it and not the other? So my thoughts remain the same on this too. I think the touchback rule is a fair rule. If you can't protect the ball and if it goes out of the end zone, I agree it should be a touchback. So that's still my thoughts, even though it nearly cost my team a win. That's still my thought regarding that rule. So I know you have some thoughts on the on the Mecole Hardman fumble, so I will let you give them out now.
Like you, I do have painful memories of a fumble outside the touchdown, the end zone there, with a certain Denver game. But yeah, no, I think you're right there. It's you fumbled the ball and went through the end zone. What do you expect? You expect it to be a touchdown, or you expect it to come back? I mean, where's the ball going at that point then? If we take that rule out, yeah, no, I mean. They made a play. It cost them. Ultimately, it didn't cost them everything.
Thank heavens.
It would have been funnier for me if it did. And I was very excited at that point. But, yeah, no, unfortunately, it was a bummer.
Yep, it was. It was definitely a bummer at the time too. There might have been some unholy words that slipped from my mouth, especially with my mom watching the game with me too.
Yeah, I can imagine
believe
if Top Golf not getting the exact points you thought dropped 4 F-bombs. I can only imagine what that one brings.
No one's gonna get that. No one's gonna understand that reference. Whatever. All right, so touchback, Bills get the ball back. There's about 7 minutes left on the clock when that happens, but they are a slow, methodical drive going down the field. And we didn't even bring up the play previously where Stephon Diggs, wide open catch, hit him right in the hands and dropped out too. But that was cake compared to what happened later on, because on this drive, Josh Allen stripped of the ball, and Chari Connor, I've loved him so much, stepping up big time as a rookie this year. We had so many rookies last year in that Super Bowl run that stepped up too, and it seemed like Veach keeps finding these studs as rookies. It's crazy, it's amazing. But instead of just falling on the ball, he tries to scoop it up and take it to the house. I understand it, but I'm just like, just fall on the ball. Let's run out the clock, man. And Dalton Kincaid, fingertips, pushes it forward, they recover it ultimately and keep the drive alive. I'm like, oh no. Just there's gonna be so much to look back on this. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. They going down the field. They keep going. Eventually it gets to 3rd and 5, and Josh Allen makes a very interesting decision. Second and 10. He goes second. I think it was 2nd and 10. Instead of taking the wide open throw to Stephon Diggs right at the line of gain, he goes deep and tries to hit Shakir in the end zone and falls incomplete. Then 3rd down, he's rolling to his right, and then he's forced to throw it away too, which leads to the ultimate finish of this game. And I will give my true thoughts of what I was thinking at that time when he was lining up to kick. I'm thinking to myself, okay, they're going to tie this game. But Mahomes has a minute and 43 seconds and 2 timeouts to get down and at least put it in field goal range. Butker will be clutch. He'll send us to the next round on his foot, or Mahomes will get down and score a touchdown or something like that. The last thing on my mind was that Tyler Bass would ever miss this kick. And I'll just never forget, I'm sitting there, I'm watching, the kick goes up, and that first instant, it looks like it's perfect. But all of a sudden, it just takes a hard turn to the right. It's no good, and everyone in the living room, all stood up, said he missed it. We could not believe it. Tyler Bass missed the game-tying field goal. All the Chiefs need to do now is get 1 first down. Before we go to that too, what were your thoughts seeing Tyler Bass miss the kick?
So my thoughts were this: I didn't even see it. I was watching with my kiddo, and she ran to the other room, so of course I had to go get her. She's the 18-month, and I come back in the room. I'm like, they missed. They really missed, and I had to rewind it and see. Yeah, no, that's. I was sad. I'm sad for Bills fans because if anyone in the playoffs right now, besides the Lions, I guess, the Lions deserve it more based off that, but the Bills are right up there. And yeah, no, it was that was pretty crazy.
You say you're sad for Bills fans. I will give you, I'm sad for a good amount of Bills fans. I am not sad for the Bills fans that sent the death threats to Tyler Bass's social media. That was just completely ridiculous and out of line. That was terrible. I get being sad that your team lost. I mean, yeah, exactly. There's teams like that everywhere, but like that's unexcusable. It's like, grow up, seriously. That's absolutely ridiculous. And I guess there was a good following of Chiefs fans that found out about that and actually donated some money to Tyler Bass's charity. So hats off to those particular members of Chiefs Kingdom that stepped up on that too. That's pretty cool. I hope Tyler Bass can live up through that and still end up playing in the league next year, despite what's been said about him on social media too. It's just ridiculous.
Ultimately, they should have been in that position to begin with.
Exactly. That's 100% right. And hats off to Josh Allen too, being one of the first guys to go up to Bass and console him about that too. So Josh Allen he's definitely a leader in every sense of the word too. It's kind of sad that this always happens to him. But it's just.
Is it no for you? Is it?
But I can't hate Josh Allen as much as I hate Joe Burrow. No, I'm kidding.
Really, I just don't see that. Why?
Yeah, it's the Brady Manning rivalry of this generation right now. Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes, they're going to be doing this again for many years to come, whether it's in the regular season or in the playoffs. So maybe the Bills have a lot of questions they need to answer this offseason. That'll be interesting to watch too. But yes, with that, the Kansas City Chiefs are moving on to their 6th straight AFC Championship game. They are going on the road again, taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Speaking of which, who took care of business, with relative ease against the red hot Texans, led by C.J. Stroud. And it just seemed like everything the Texans had, the Ravens just had an answer for on offense and defense. It seemed.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson with 4 total touchdowns, 2 on the ground, 2 through the air. He didn't really have to do much in this game. He was 16 for 22, and yeah, it really wasn't even that close. They had that much control in that second half.
Yeah, really the biggest moment for the Texans was that kickoff, or excuse me, that punt return by Steven Sims, who I did find out was who I thought it was, and he was a former KU Jayhawk. So,
nice.
So I did not know that, and then I was like, well, it's like the name sounded so familiar, and I was like, is it him? Like, there's no way it's him. It can't be. It's like they didn't say it on the broadcast. I was like, nah, it's probably not him. And then I find out the next day, oh yeah, hey, it's him. So one of my friends that's a huge KU fan, he shared that too, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, that's awesome. But yep, the Ravens moving on to the AFC Championship game 2. This is actually, I didn't know this, the first time Lamar Jackson won a playoff game at home.
Really?
Yes. Yep. The previous one was at Tennessee.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep, because that was the revenge game, because the Titans came into Baltimore in 2019 and beat them at Baltimore, and then 21-20, whatever it was. I think it was 21. They went. It was the roles were reversed, and they got it done against them there.
All right. So the next game we got 49ers and the Packers. And, oh my gosh, the Packers were so close. So close. I was rooting for them on this one.
They were a Joe Barry away.
Gosh. Yeah, I mean, I can't believe Brett Favre made that throw at the end. It was just so sad.
Did you see that side-by-side someone made of those throws?
I did not.
It is eerily identical. Like, the camera angle is like almost perfectly the same as like the side by side of Jordan Love and Brett Favre from when he was on the Vikings, but still, it was hilarious how close that was. The Packers had the game in their hands until late in the fourth quarter. The miss by Carlson, which, you know, if he makes that, and even if San Fran drives down the field, it'd be a tied game. But the missed field goal, once again, the Bills weren't the only victims of a bad field goal. And the 49ers went down the field. Christian McCaffrey gets the job done. It's kind of funny. Simone Biles' husband was the last person to touch CMC before he got into the end zone. That was an interesting attempt at a tackle, I will say. But yeah, when CMC's in the open space, he's very tough to bring down.
Oh yeah. So. Yeah, 98 yards on the ground, 2 total touchdowns. That 39-yard run was pretty sweet.
Absolutely. Jordan Love, I mean, he did okay. Had 2 touchdowns of himself. Aaron Jones, 108 yards rushing. They made it a hell of a game until the very end, but it's just the missed field goal, and then that Joe Barry defense, it showed up too. And I'm sure Packers fans are happy to find out that Joe Barry is no longer going to be their defensive coordinator. So we'll see how that turns out for him next year. But, congrats to the San Francisco 49ers. The 1 seed moves on to the championship game.
I don't know if you could pin this game on Joe Barry, because
I wouldn't pin the game on him. I'm just saying that last drive, probably.
Yeah. This was an overachieving team. It's like the Steelers. They really should not be there. And they overachieved, and I mean, this is a very, very good San Fran offense. To say they couldn't stop them one drive, well, a lot of people haven't stopped them one drive this year.
Fair. I suppose if this was just a singular incident, but let's be honest, Packers fans have been calling for Joe Barry to go for the entire year, so
they had to appease him.
Exactly. Well, speaking of appeasement, I think Detroit's very well appeased right now.
Ooh, man. Yeah. I mean, it made it a little too close for comfort at the end. Mm-hmm. That they still could score a touchdown and tie her up. But yeah, they handled business. Goff looked good.
Yep.
Gibbs, he had a great game. They definitely look like they could stack up with San Fran. I don't know. Have we heard anything on Debo? Because he got injured.
Nothing yet. Yeah, we forgot to mention that. Debo injured earlier in the game, too. I have not heard heads or tails yet of how serious his injury is, but that will be a big thing to look out for this coming week before that game is played. Although, before we talk too much of the Lions, hats off to Baker Mayfield. I mean, we said it the entire year. It's like, all right, who's gonna be the team in the NFC South that's just gonna get trounced by the wild card team in the first round? But nope, they took care of business against Philly, and they did not let Detroit, Not at least not towards the end. They really didn't let them walk all over them. Detroit just got out to a little bit more of an insurmountable lead at the end that, valiant as it was just too much for Tampa Bay to come back from in the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it just came down to how many weapons the Detroit Lions have, along with an emerging defense. They're definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely. So you mentioned Jared Goff too. I mean, 30 of 43, 287 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs, nine carries, 74 yards. I wonder if those Lions fans that weren't happy that he got drafted are still feeling the same way right now.
I don't think they are. I think they're over the moon.
You would certainly hope so, right?
Yep.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, 8 catches, 77 yards. Sam Laporta, battling through injury, 9 catches for 65 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, another 40 yards in the air. I mean, this team is getting hot at the right time, and I guess if there was anyone that would give San Fran a run for their money outside of maybe the Baltimore Ravens, it might be this Lions team.
I love that you did throw the Chiefs in there.
I don't like putting my team on a pedestal. I like keeping that underdog mentality the whole time. So
I got you. I understand. This could be a very interesting game. I hope the best for Detroit because, like I said earlier, gosh, this fan base deserves at least one Super Bowl. Or at least an appearance.
An appearance, exactly, right? That would put them ahead of a lot of other teams that have never been to the Super Bowl, much less even won a Super Bowl too. So, but yes, they will be playing this Sunday at 5:30. It'll be at San Francisco. San Francisco's opening up as 7-point favorites right now, so that's even without Debo. 7 points. Yes, and that's even without Debo Samuel being, I think, officially listed as active in this game too.
And one injury that we didn't talk about, your guard.
Oh yes. Well, I was going to talk about that in the preview of the AFC Championship game. But yes, as far as injuries right now in the NFC Championship game, the biggest ones we're looking at too is maybe Sam Laporta and Josh Reynolds, the wide receiver tight end duo. I mean, they both played in this game, so I imagine they will both be ready to go to play. As far as the 49ers, yeah, the biggest one would have to be Debo too. So that's just all 3 of those names will be something to keep an eye out for before Sunday afternoon. So we'll definitely see how that goes. But yep, right now ESPN has San Francisco listed at a 74.1% chance of winning this game. As we mentioned, the 7-point difference so far. The over-under is listed at 50.5 points, and it's going to be perfect weather out there. 69 degrees, nice, in Santa Clara. So it'll be in the nighttime, obviously, but yeah, this is going to be a matchup a lot of people are looking forward to.
Oh, yeah.
So.
No, but... Gosh, your matchup here. This is a very interesting matchup because this defense, let's face it, you went up against a very depleted defense last week. And this defense is healthy. And I mean, yeah, Humphreys is on here. I don't think that's going to be, I think it's more of a keep healthy type questionable on it. But
the biggest one is Mark Andrews for sure.
Mark Andrews, that'll be interesting.
Although Isaiah Likely has stepped up in a huge way.
Likely has done a very good job.
Yeah.
The thing that's going to be most concerning, you guys got bashed by the run.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going up against a better offensive line and a better run game. So I'm very interested. I still think you guys can win, but this is a very interesting matchup.
The biggest thing, if we can get Willie Gay back, we're going to need all the help we can get. So Willie Gay will be a big one too. Hopefully Mike Edwards is ready to go. I mean, he did have the concussion, so we'll have to see how serious that one is. The other thing, L'Jarius Sneed coming up is questionable, but once again, I think it's the same thing as like you mentioned with Humphrey. Just try to keep him healthy as much as you can. Same with Pacheco. Pacheco is listed as a go for this week, even though he's showing up as questionable. Man, it's
So your guard isn't on.
The guard isn't on there, but I think they only have room for 5 spots on this on this list. But yes, it has been said that Joe Thuney, our guard, is unlikely to play. However, I do have faith that the veteran Nick Allegretti will play, and I think he'll do just fine in that spot too. We still got Creed up front. We still got Trey Smith up front. Juwan Taylor and Donovan Smith, they did actually pretty decently well against Buffalo. I do have to give them that. So hopefully they can keep that momentum up and give Pacheco plenty of room to run. Yeah, this is going to be the toughest defense that this Chiefs offense has faced, but that historically has meant that Mahomes will do well. He does really well against number 1 defenses that he plays against too. And one thing about Mahomes, this is nothing new to him. This spotlight, this stage, even though it's not at Arrowhead, he's been here before. He's been to this AFC Championship before. I'm sure John Harbaugh has Lamar all the prepared that he has to be to have a good showing here too. This will be a good game too. But as ESPN says, they got a 63.6% chance of winning. They give the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens don't just beat their opponents, they dominate them in most scenarios. But at the same time, it's any given Sunday. And boys, you've been counted out multiple times this year by multiple people. And this is your chance to once again prove everyone wrong. And I'm looking forward to seeing that effort out there too. So let's go get it done. It's going to be a rain game. It's showing 88% chance of rain around kickoff with a 49 degrees, which is actually the warmest temperature that the Chiefs have played this entire postseason. So yeah, it's going to be interesting how that weather plays into effect too at M&T Bank Stadium. But hey, this is the best time of the year. It's Championship Sunday. This is for the right to go back to the Super Bowl, or for the Lions, the first time going to the Super Bowl. We'll see how it goes. It'll be a lot of fun, and win or lose, I'll be back here next week to talk about it. It may be the final installment of I don't want to talk about it, or it'll be a very, very happy and ecstatic episode. So, but either way, I'm looking forward to it. Go ahead.
No, if you guys win, I won't be here. Can't stand it. I'm not supporting that. Bad enough that I'm rooting for the Ravens. Okay, I threw up in my mouth.
Use your towel. Use your towel.
No.
It'll be the same color.
It's just, gosh. I don't like my luck.
This was the year we were supposed to go off the rails, right?
This was.
Yeah.
It's next year. Next year. This is the calm before the storm.
Ah, I see. All right.
Everything's righted, but no, it isn't.
So, well, let us know down below what was your favorite moment of the divisional round weekend, and give us your picks. Who do you think's going to the Super Bowl this year? We'd love to hear you down below. So, but on that note, thank you everybody so much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all of your friends, and we will see you all next week for Championship Sunday.